Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and welcome to the first of 5 Guilds of Ravnica pre-release guides we're bringing you over the next couple of days. This pre-release is unlike most in that you get to choose a guild before you start the event. In addition to the normal packs of Guilds of Ravnica you'll receive, you'll also get a seeded pack of the guild you choose, strengthening your tie to that guild right away. In this series, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about each guild to help you make the right decision for you. I do hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, remember to hit that like button right down there, helps out a lot. The Boros Legion is the white and red guild on Ravnica. The Legion is an army, the only real police on Ravnica. If not for the Boros, chaos would break out all over the plane, embodying the idea of one for all. The Boros Legion is an efficient and powerful guild, focusing on one thing only: community safety through enforcing the law. And they can enforce the law so well because of their staggering numbers and similar ideals. If you're a part of the Boros, you are part of something much bigger than yourself. You're contributing to the stability of the plane. Law and order are your morals. Safety for your people is your life. If you have a strong emotional connection to serve, a strong connection to your fellow man, the Boros Legion is the perfect place for you. The Boros mechanic in Guilds of Ravnica is Mentor. Whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature with lesser power. This mechanic tells you everything you need to know about the Boros style of play in this set. It's aggro. If you enjoy pure aggro, Boros is what you want to be. Mentor really shines if you have a plethora of creatures on the battlefield. It's a mechanic designed to help you go wide with threats and make them all dangerous. You want to overwhelm your opponent with damage as early as humanly possible. With cards like Hammer Dropper, Barging Sergeant, and Blade Instructor at common, you're going to be triggering Mentor a lot, pumping up your weakest creatures, which means all of your creatures are relevant. It's very Boros, one for all, remember? Now, let's go over the rares you can get in your seeded pack, then talk playables, then talk strategy for the pre-release. There's lots to cover. In the seeded pack you receive in your pre-release kit, there will always be either a rare or mythic rare in your chosen guild. One of 8 cards. In the case of Boros, your options are going to be Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, absolute bomb. If you open this, you're playing it obviously. Tajik, Legion's Edge, also a guaranteed include. Between Haste, Mentor, protecting your team from burn spells and gaining first strike, Tajik is a bit like an aggro planeswalker, playable as heck. Then we have Response and Resurgence. Response is a strong removal combat trick, and Resurgence is a win condition, granting your creatures relevant keywords and an additional combat phase. Should help you win the game, so it's pretty playable. Chance of Glory is a bit of a scary one. The card is mythic because it time walks you, but you do lose right after. If you get this in your seeded pack, be very careful whether you include it in your deck or not. Only in the most aggressive of strategies should this be included, because if you don't win on that next turn, you lose incredibly high stakes. Deafening Clarion is a great include in anything and gives all your creatures lifelink by default. It then can wipe the board of troublesome enemies if you find yourself behind on the battlefield or your creatures have been mentored so much that they're now out of range of the Clarion. Legion War Boss is very strong, so if you get this as your promo, you will use it. A 3-mana 2/2 that basically brings a 2/2 with it in combat is aggressive, aggressively costed, and full of value. Light of the Legion is a huge bomb, and if you get this as your promo, you will be very happy. It comes with evasion, mentor, and buffs all your white creatures if it ever dies. Removing a 5/5 flyer is harder than you might think, so either way you're pretty happy. And finally, if they don't include Sacred Foundry as a possible promo, Swiftblade Vindicator is the 8th possible seeded rare. Now, this card is dependent on your strategy working. The Vindicator needs to be mentored or enchanted or pumped up with combat tricks. If you find yourself with only a few mentor creatures, no combat tricks, and no enchant auras, the Vindicator is actually going to be quite bad. So make sure you have a combination of those before you auto-include the Vindicator in anything. Let's talk playables. Of all the Boros watermarked cards, you're in luck. They're all playable, even the commons. Cards like Parhelion Patrol and Wojek Bodyguard are made better knowing you're going to go wide in an aggressive style deck. Sky Knight Legionnaire is ready to be mentored, as is Fresh-Faced Recruit. But some of the realest, most dangerous power in this color combination come from the uncommons. Boros Challenger and Goblin Banneret both mentor and both increase their power to keep triggering mentor throughout the game. True Fire Captain has mentor and shoots all of the damage on it to your opponent. Swath Cutter Giant is huge as a 5/5 with Vigilance for 6, and just for fun it tremors your opponent's team on attack. Sunhome Stalwart is a 2/2 for 2 with double upside, mentor and first strike, that's gross. Justice Strike is a removal spell against most anything in the format, and Legion Guildmage either taps down something huge or bolts your opponent. As you can see, the Boros came to win with their watermarked cards, which makes the seeded Boros pack even more enticing. Knowing that you're going to get a bunch of these cards, that's really attractive. Of course, you can't rely entirely on your seeded pack to build your deck for you, so let's chat about the neutral red and white cards and which ones you should look out for. We're going to focus on commons and uncommons here, as you will see those far more often than rares. White is impressive this time around, with the amount of removal and pseudo-removal it brings to the table. Remember, Boros is always the aggro deck, so we're looking for cards that synergize. Collar the Culprit gets rid of a huge butt, auto-include. Conclave Tribunal may be Selesnyan, but wow, is that solid removal. Demotion lets you be more aggressive. You don't care if they attack you back, but taking out a blocker is huge for you. Luminous Bonds, same deal, except this time there is no crackback, all upside. And Righteous Blow is a cheap combat trick that will win you standoffs. Looking at red, the Izzet League's Direct Current is an expensive double shock. Command the Storm is a Lava Axe to a creature. Cosmotronic Wave is legit a win condition if you're running a deck with enough creatures to make this worth it. Another Izzet spell is Gravitic Punch, synergizes with your high-powered creatures to wreck something. Then we have Inescapable Blaze and Lava Coil is just solid removal. As you can see, white and red are full of great removal spells at common and uncommon, which means you can surround your army with protection from giant creatures while clearing the way for their beats. Boros is looking quite strong. One thing I want to make note of, if Swiftblade Vindicator is your promo, and you do end up in Boros and run it, cards like Sure Strike, Maniacal Rage, and Take Heart have additional value. These are the cards you'll want to run in that deck. They are especially useful on the Vindicator, but even if you don't draw it, they're fine fillers at worst, it's just a small note. Now, possibly the most important part of this video, Guilds of Ravnica is all about supporting two-color guilds, right? Everything Wizards is doing is supporting two-color guilds. Well, surprise, surprise, I want you to build 3 colors. The basic land in each pack is replaced with a guild gate, and the lockets are commons. Between those, you shouldn't have too much of a problem stumbling into a solid splash. But that's not why I want you to run a 3rd color. I want you to run a 3rd color because the set is actually designed for it. There's no reason you can't run white, red, and green together. We've spent the entire video talking about how the Boros Legion likes to go wide, right? They love just smashing face with as many creatures as humanly possible. You know who else loves doing that? Selesnya! And the return of Convoke is almost as synergistic with the Boros as it is with Selesnya itself. Think about it, Boros is all about attacking really quickly and trying to win the game fast. That means the late game for a white-red deck is basically the mid game for everyone else, which means Boros is weak in the actual late game. It has no late game beef, because it wants to stay close to the ground. But Selesnya can give Boros that late game fire in the mid game by giving a Convoke. In addition to the massive Boros creatures we've looked at so far, you can't tell me Flight of the Equinaughts wouldn't be insane in a Boros deck. 4/5 flyer that you can Convoke out really early if you cast on curve, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, then this, so gross, and you're probably mentoring along the way. Alright, let's talk about the green cards that make splashing worth it. Even if you don't have too much fixing, you can run 3 colors in this limited format. You will open at least 1 guild gate you can use, you basically have to, including in your seeded pack, so you have more wiggle room than you might think with your mana. I'm going to give you a list of cards right now that are worth splashing for. Most rares are amazing, so again, I'll stick to the smaller stuff. Affectionate Indrik is strong and removal. Arboretum Elemental can be convoked, which is all I need to see. Huge monster of a card. Prey Upon is cheap and solid. Siege Worm is another convoke nightmare you can easily include in a mass creature deck. One of the most important things about a Boros aggro strategy is the creature curve. You always want to be dropping creatures. So if you're light on creatures at certain mana costs, there's nothing wrong with including the likes of Wild Ceratok, Wario Copy, Devkar, and Dissident. You get my point. Just don't shy away from 3 colors because you think this is a 2-color meta. It isn't. And just because I only went over green doesn't mean you can't splash blue or black as well. I only covered green because that's the most synergistic with Boros this time around, and the easiest to splash, to be honest. Do not limit yourself to 2 colors, you don't have to. With the massive guild gates and lockets from the set, I am confident that you can turn almost any 2-color deck into a 3-color one, Boros included. At the end of the day, if you're looking for the most aggressive deck out there, if you like to beat faces first and ask questions, never, the Boros Legion is for you. You definitely want to be red-white for this pre-release. This guild is designed for the pure aggro player. It can't play anything besides pure aggro, so take advantage. And remember, when you do open your Boros packs and build that delicious deck, you are always on the offensive. You attack forever, all the time, until the game is over. Basically no exceptions, understand? Attack, attack, attack. I believe in you. And that's the end of the first part of 5 Guilds of Ravnica pre-release guides. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Boros for you? Do these cards look like cards you want to swing in with? I need to know how you're feeling and how you're leaning for the upcoming event. Also, did the video even help you? I do love me some feedback. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Guild of Ravnica booster boxes are holding at a steady $91 each right now for pre-order on TCG Player. If you don't have a local game store or yours charges way too much, I got you back right here. Just click the link on the screen. Helps out the channel. You'll feel amazing for the rest of your life. It's just crazy awesome. Woo, yeah, I love you. Enjoy. But Convoke can give Boros that late game fire in the mid game by giving it Convoke. But Convoke can... Oh, Selesnya.